So I'm going to tell you 3 stories of things that have happened to me in the classroom that remind us about what we should care about or make sure that our kids know that we care about. So first one, I was working in a high school outside of Denver. I was going to do a workshop for the teachers after school. And I said to my friend Ann, hey, could I teach your geometry classes during the day because you have Geometry Sketchpad and that would be fun. So we're doing centers of triangles. The kids are all constructing centroids. And on the one hand, a centroid is not that interesting. They all look pretty much the same. But then we moved to circumcenter, and all the kids construct a circumcenter, and now they're different, and they're talking about, like, what'd you do wrong? Yours doesn't look right. Hey, I followed the directions. No, you didn't. Mine's better. Whatever. And I thought, okay, this is a great time to ask some questions and get kids thinking. So I wrote on the board, when is a circumcenter inside the triangle, outside the triangle, on the triangle? And they're like, those are the dumbest questions ever. That's so easy. I'm thinking, it's not really that easy. You don't get it. And there's this one kid sitting there just staring off into space. And I walked over and I said, so what's up? He said, let me get this right. You actually like math? And I said, yeah, I do. And I walked off. And I left him there, and I thought, he's in a good school, he's got a great teacher, he always has people looking out for him. This is the best of the best. But yet he's never met anyone who he actually thought liked math. So that's the very first thing on our list of things we need to care about more is math. Okay? Because math is cool, and kids need to know that we think math is cool. Okay, can we agree? Okay, we're good. All right, so we're good on one. We're 1 for 1 so far. So the next one, I was working in an elementary school in Philadelphia and pulling out some 4th graders for 45 minutes every week. They need to do a little better on the PSSA. And you'll notice that Dominique there, his paper is blank. Well, he wasn't there the previous week. So he said, well, you got to have stuff on your paper. So he decides, I'm going to copy off the other kids. So then there's Naomi sitting there. And she has been a pain in my butt the whole time. She doesn't listen. She won't do what she's told. She just is annoying. And all of a sudden, Naomi leaps to her feet. She will in a moment here. And she yells at Dominique, and she says to him, stop copying. Miss Annie doesn't care that you have the right answer. She cares that you know why they're the right answers. Here's this kid who I thought has just been annoying and a pain in the butt, and yet in 3 weeks and 45 minutes a week, she figured out what was important to me, and that when they were in that room, what was important. We can do that same thing in our classrooms, but it really matters what do we think is important, because they figure out what you really think is important really quickly. So the second thing on our list, the whys. We need to care about the whys, and the kids need to know that that's something we care about deeply. Okay. So the third story, I taught a 45-minute lesson in a 1st grade classroom, straight out of everyday math, just to prove that it doesn't have to suck. And I'd been in that school before, but I hadn't been in that classroom. And 2 weeks later, I walked back in that room, and these 3 kids run up to me, Miss, they're so excited. Ask us what 70 plus 40 is. I'm like, oh, okay, so what's 70 plus 40? And they're so excited, they're just buzzing with energy, they're about to pee their pants. They're like, it's 110. And I said, wow, but like, how did you know that? And they're like, well, see, the 70 and the 40, there's a 0 on both, and so you take the 0 off, and 7 plus 4, that's 11. Everybody knows that. And then you just put the 0 back on, and that's 110. They're so excited for me to ask them the answer to a math question and how they got it. I was in their classroom once for 45 minutes. As I recall, I had laryngitis, I could barely talk. And these kids saw me and they said, that's the lady who wants to know what's in our heads. And so they ran up to me to make sure I would ask them something about what's in their heads. So the third thing we need to care about more is students thinking and ideas. Those are really important. Kids need to know that they have ideas about everything that happens in math class and that those ideas are valuable. All right, we're going to take a pledge. Everyone get your feet under you. Let's go. Stand up. All right. Remember, these things are important. Kids need to know they're important. I don't ask you to recite this pledge necessarily on the first day, but we'll practice it now in case you want to do some affirmations. I, Annie, do solemnly swear on a Mary Dulciani textbook that I will make more obvious my